Since the dawn of democracy in Nigeria, the media has stood as the fourth pillar of the realm, informing, shaping governance, and driving societal progress. It has been a force for change, holding power to account, and amplifying the voices that matter. In this exclusive interview, Honorable Rimande Shawulu Kwewum reflects on the evolution of the media in Nigeria, its impact over the years, and the vital role it continues to play today.
Thank you so much, sir, for granting us the opportunity to hear from your perspective, especially from the political sphere. Could you meet you?
Yeah, my name is Rimande Shawulu Kwewum. I was in the House of Representatives from 2015 to 2023. I started off as a journalist, and I think I've remained largely in the media. Today I run my podcast, The Other Side. That's what I do in the media now.
Okay, so could you tell us, because we did a little check, you had a stint with NUJ at the national level, and of course, leaving the pen and paper profession to the political arena. What was it like for you, that transition, especially coming from a time when you were at the national level of NUJ? Nigeria was under the throes of military, well, let's say transitioning from dictatorship to democracy. Now, that transition as a journalist for you and where we are now, what's your take?
Well, there are two things that I'll say immediately. The first one is that it's very unfortunate that the space in the media, well, not just in Nigeria, all over the world, has been so affected by developments in technology. The technologies have so developed that nobody controls what gets into the media. Not that control of what gets into media is good by itself. However, the thing now is that there are literally tons and tons of information that float through. And a lot of the things that come up, unfortunately, some of them too in the mainstream media are fake news. And for us in Nigeria, the worrying thing is that professional journalism does not appear to be paying like before. In the past, journalists were properly paid. They worked, they had ID cards, and they were required to do investigations in a certain way. And if it did not meet up to those expectations, the news items were not published. Journalists, like students, in my opinion, stood to fight for both independence and stood very strongly in the fight against military dictatorship. So much so that the military head of state Buhari, starting for Buhari, he jailed some journalists, and media houses were closed down and journalists were detained, but they still fought. Unfortunately, since 1999, the people in the political class who are the major beneficiaries, so to say, of the coming of democracy, of civil rule, have constituted themselves into cogs in the wheel of progress of journalism. It's very unfortunate that even the print media in Nigeria, for instance, has not developed. Of course, that has to do with the reading culture too. In those days, in the United Kingdom, when a newspaper could only sell 500,000 copies per day, it meant that it was a failure. I don't think we've had any newspaper in Nigeria that sold up to 500,000 copies a day. So the media is at a very low ebb, and we just hope that in the future there will be improvement.
Would you say the Nigerian media is slow to adapting to emerging technology? Usually, you talked about some of the issues of fake news and all that, but now we also have AI coming into the mix, and that has completely upended a lot of activities, including the media. How would you say the Nigerian media is prepared for the swift evolution in terms of technology and also adapting so that it's not left behind?
Technology actually is what you call an enhancer. It helps to develop, it helps to strengthen any process that you are doing. And the development of the technology and that also facilitated what we call globalization in the context of world politics today has ensured that anything, for instance, happening in any part of the world is known here immediately and affects what happens here. The worrying thing, for me, the worrying thing is not about the development of technology, because you cannot really stop the development of technology. It's something that is unstoppable. Knowledge will keep growing, many more things will come. And of course, you also do know that in the development of knowledge and technology, regulation always comes behind. A regulation does what you call catch up. It does not determine what happens. But the fact of the matter is that a society develops a culture, and the culture informs everything about the society. If you look at the culture that we have in Nigeria now, a culture that I call a culture of amoralism, that is in Nigeria today, and perhaps in most parts of Africa, there is a blurring of the line between what is wrong and what is right. It happens in normal life. So anyone should not be surprised if it happens in the media with the fake news. So people tell lies anyhow. People use government resources for themselves. There are no longer rules about boundaries where you should stop and where you should start. In those days, there were clear lines that parents gave their children. There was a clear line between what is wrong and what is right. Today, we have a situation in Nigeria where parents go to buy question papers or even hire people to write examination for their children. You know, you have people seeking for jobs. And the amoralism, the way I see it, has so grown that we now have young people who do believe that there is nobody that has any form of money or wins political office in the country does so on merit. You must have gone to do some juju, do some yahoo, or done something terrible to get the money that you have. So a lot of young people, that's why you see an explosion in the so-called yahoo thing. It takes its cue from above, that the perception is that you just get it. Anyhow you get it, it doesn't matter, but just get it. If you kill your sister to get it, kill your brother or your mother to get it. We are seeing stories of children taking their younger brothers or taking their parents for rituals. Because the culture has arisen in Nigeria today that does not recognize what is right and what is wrong. So people can tell you any lies. You see someone sitting with you here, someone will make a call, you will receive the call, you say, no, I'm in Enugu, whereas he's sitting here in Abuja, or will tell you, no, I'm in Kano, or even tell you, don't you know that I traveled to England, whereas he's sitting here with you in Nigeria. And we think it is normal. We have accepted it as a normal thing.
As the landscape shifts, he calls on the Nigerian media to keep evolving, adapting, innovating, and championing the cause of positive change.